Section 2 of Chapter 8 is about stem and leaf plots and histograms. So a stem and leaf plot is a condensed way to view a lot of numbers. And a histogram is a special kind of bar graph that shows the frequency of data in intervals instead of individually. So bar graphs show things individually, histograms show groups of things. Groups of numbers, I should say specifically. So first we'll talk about stem and leaf plots. For a stem and leaf plot, the following 5 items are true. Stems can be any number of digits. This year, they'll primarily be 1- and 2-digit numbers. Each stem will only appear once. The stem of a number is all the digits of the number except its last digit, the one in the ones place. So for example, in the number 123, 1, 2 is the stem, and 3 on the end is the leaf. And you can see there, leaves are only 1 digit, and it's the final digit of a number. So we're going to take this data and put it in a stem and leaf plot. So we've got the numbers of minutes exercised, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 18 numbers here. The first thing we want to do is identify our stems. Because these are 2-digit numbers, the first digit is the stem, and the second digit is the leaf. You can see above, I showed you for a 3-digit number, the first 2 make the stem, and the third is the leaf. Here, the smallest number is 10, and the biggest number is 55, I believe. So we go from numbers in the 10s to numbers in the 50s. That means our stems are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I can see I probably should have made this a little bit bigger. Oh well. So put the stems in the stem and leaf plot. We've done that. Put the leaves on in order from least to greatest. So first off, what we need to do now is go in here and find all the numbers that are in the 10s. So I'm going to grab a blue highlighter. Again, iPad makes it really easy. And I'm going to find all those. So that's 2 10s, a 15, and an 18 when we put them in order. So the smallest number here is 10. The stem is 1, the leaf is 0. And I have to write 2 zeros because there are 2 10s. From the 15, its leaf is 5. And from the 18, its leaf is 8. I'm going to use a bunch of different colors here. I think it might help make things easier. Whoops. Don't want to use the pen. I want to use pencil. So we'll go blue, orange, green, red, and gray. So now I'm going to grab an orange highlighter and go find all the numbers in the 20s. And I think I just found them all. They appear to be 5. A 21, a 22, and 3 25s. So the smallest is 21. Its stem is 2. Its leaf is 1. 22 gives me a leaf of 2. And the 3 25s mean I have 5, 1, 2, 3 leaves of 5. Now, before I go any further, I want to point something out. Notice here, I'm not putting any commas in. I'm just making neat columns in my leaves. That's how we make a stem and leaf plot. You are not allowed to put commas in a stem and leaf plot. I will mark it wrong. You just make neat columns of your leaves. 30s, I'm using green. So let's see. That's in the 30s. That's in the 30s, that's in the 30s, and that's in the 30s. So let's see, the smallest number in the 30s is 30, so we put a 0. The next smallest number is 35, and there are 2 of those, so I'll put down 5, 5. And then there's a 39, so I'll put down 9. Grab myself a red highlighter and go find all my numbers in the 40s. There are 3. Yes, 3. So red pencil now, the smallest is 40, so we put a 0, and then a 4, and then an 8 from 44 and 48 respectively. And then there are 2 numbers in the 50s, 52 and 55. Those gives me stems of 2 and 5 respectively. So there's our stem and leaf plot. If the data has a title, and here it does, number of minutes exercised, we really should include it. So above the plot, we're going to put number of minutes exercised. There's our stem and leaf plot. We can use stem and leaf plots to find mean, median, mode, and range because making a stem and leaf plot puts the data in order. And think about this. We go 10, 10, 15, 18, 21, 22, 25, 25, 25. This is already in order. So we can do mean, median, mode, and range. Now mean, there's no way around it. We've got to add all that up. So 10 and 10 and 15 and 18 and 21 and 22 and 25 and 25 and one more 25 and a 30 and a 35 and another 35 and a 39 and a 40 and a 44 and a 48 and a 52 and a 55. That's a lot of numbers. Add it all up, they're 549. How many numbers did I just add? I don't know. But if I count the leaves, I can tell how many numbers there are. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 leaves. Means there's 18 numbers. So 549 divided by 18 is actually a fairly nice number, all things considered, 30.5. Median, the middle number. Can still use my underline numbers trick, it's just I'm going to underline the leaves. So the smallest leaf is this 0, and the biggest leaf is this 5 at the end. Move in, move in. Move in. And as I'm working my way up, if I come to the end of a line, when I go to the next one up, I go to the outside. So keep moving in. When I'm coming down, I'll reset to the beginning of the line. So let's see where we wind up. Hey, we're between 25 and 30, because there are 2 numbers left for me to underline, and I can't do that. So we're going to do 25 plus 30 and divide by 2. That's 27.5. Mode. So the number that repeats most often, you want to look on each line individually for repeated leaves. The first line we've got 2 repeated 0s. Second line we have 3 repeated 5s, so that's the current winner, those 3 25s. Third line we have 2 repeated 5s, that's not repeated enough. And the fourth and fifth lines each have nothing repeated. So the mode is 25. Comes from the 3 5s on that second line. And last, the range. The biggest number is 55. The smallest number is 10, so the range is 45. Stem and leaf plot, like I said, has the advantage of already putting everything in order. Now we're going to use this data to make a histogram, which is a fancy bar chart. Step 1 is to determine the intervals. So this goes from 5 to 55. here it just simply makes sense to use intervals that are basically groups of 10. And by that, I mean the single digits, the double digits, or single digits, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, numbers like that. So we're going to do the single digits, 0 to 9. And that's 10 numbers, by the way. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We will do the numbers from 10 to 19, the numbers in the teens. We will do the numbers in the 20s. We'll do the numbers in the 30s. We'll do the numbers in the 40s. And last, we'll do the numbers in the 50s. And again, I'm just using a bunch of different colors because I can. iPad. So this top row are my intervals. So our data was sit-ups per minute. So this top grouping is number of sit-ups, and the bottom will be frequency. So now we just have to figure out these frequencies. So grab an orange highlighter and go find all the single-digit numbers between 0 and 9. So let us see. There's one. There's another, and that looks to be it. So there were 3. Grab ourselves a light blue highlighter and go find all the numbers in the 10s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7 looks like it. Again, you don't have to use all these colors if you don't want to, and if you can and you want to, by all means, have fun. I'm going to go to green for my numbers in the 20s. So let's see here. There's a number in the 20s. There's one. There's a couple. There's another one. And there's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab a purple highlighter now and go look for my numbers in the 30s. So there's one, and there's another. And there are 2 on the bottom row here, so that was 5 purple marks. So we've got 5 purple marks. And now we're talking a dark blue for numbers in the 40s. So let's see, we start off with 1, so there's 1, there's another one here, there's a 3rd, and a 4th, and a 5th, and a 6th. So I got 6 numbers in the 40s. Oops, switch over to my pencil, and actually change the color of my pencil. There we go. And last, I'm going to grab a red highlighter and go grab everything in the 50s, which is all that should be left. So we've got 1, 2, 3 of those. Okay. Title the graph and label the axes. Okay. So the title of the graph is the title of the data. So this is sit-ups per minute. Along the bottom, we will have the number of sit-ups. And along the side, we will have our frequency. On a histogram, the left side is always frequency. So real fast, our frequency, our biggest number is 7. So if I did this properly, if I count each line as 1, and I'm only going to label every other, so we'll go 0, skip 1, label 2, skip 3, label 4, skip 5, label 6, skip 7, label 8. I actually have some extra space here. Top line would be 10. So we can label every other, that's good enough. Now across the bottom, whoops, didn't mean to draw that. Things are a little bit different. Across the bottom, I'm going to put the first number of each interval. So I'm going to put 0, which is the bottom corner, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and I actually need to go one beyond that. So I'm going to go to 60. So I'm going to label 0 is there, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. I've got to go all the way to one more than my last. Now, the bars here will connect. They'll touch each other. The only time they wouldn't is if a group has a frequency of 0. So my first group has a frequency of 3. So I'm going to draw an orange bar at the level of 3 over to 10, and I'm going to drop it down right on top of 10. And I'm going to color it in. You don't have to use multiple colors for this, but I know many of you will want to just because you can. There's nothing wrong with that. Now our next group has a frequency of 7. I'm actually going to sit this here so I can see this constantly. So from the top right corner of my last bar, I'm going to go up to 7. I'm going to come across, and then I'm going to drop it down right on top of 20. And again, I'm just going to do a quick fill in here. I'm not going crazy. My next group has a frequency of 6. So where 6 is on the right edge of this bar, I'm going to come across and drop right down on 30. My next group is down at 5. So where 5 is on the right edge of this bar, I'll draw across and drop straight down on top of 40. Next group is back up to 6. So top right corner, I'm going to go back up to 6, come over to 50, and drop straight on top of 50. And we'll color that in a little bit. Again, you don't got to go crazy on this coloring, and I'm just doing it because it makes it a little bit easier to see the bars. And now a 3, so where 3 is on the right edge, I'll just come over and drop that on top of 60. And there is our histogram. Key difference from a histogram to a bar chart. Okay, on a bar chart, we... Actually, hold on, because I can just go up to it. On a bar chart, you notice there are gaps between the categories, and we put the bars directly on top of the categories. On a histogram, where we're doing intervals, the edges of our bars sit on our numbers, and all of our bars touch. We leave no gaps, unless there's a frequency of 0.